All right, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. As always, got Keith, Chris, Adam.
What's going on?
Here we are tonight. We're going to talk about, I don't know if this is some way too early, but just get into some early SEC football action, college football action in general. But we're going to go over what the projected win totals are for the SEC this year for the 2022 season. So
this is from DraftKings Sportsbooks.
Right, yeah, and 247 Sports.
And 247 Sports, yeah.
So let's just jump right on in here. You know, we'll start at the bottom because I think we're all probably going to agree on the people at the top. So let's just.
Okay, you think that? Let's start at the bottom. I'm with you. Let's start with Vandy.
I'm starting bottom, like bottom of the rung, like, not the bottom of the list, bottom of the rung.
Yeah.
So according to 247 Sports, they got Vandy at 2.5.
Yeah, Vandy, and just for reference, I pulled this up for us. Vandy won 2 games last year. They went 2-10.
Went 0-8 in the SEC. So I'm going to go under on that. I think they're going to be around that 2 game again.
I'm going to take the over on Vandy.
I'm going over too.
I'm
going
going 3.
I'm going 3 wins for Vandy. They're gonna sneak.
Who are they going to beat?
Let's look.
They're gonna sneak a win out that they shouldn't. But
I mean, listen, Vandy could get LSU. They could get Mississippi State.
Hey, no way in hell they beat LSU.
I don't think they're beating anybody.
Here, I'll give it to you this way.
All right, well,
Vandy
they
beats
beat
Hawaii. Vandy beats Elon. Vandy beats
Wake Forest.
Oh, no, it won't be Wake. Oh, shit.
Northern Illinois?
Northern Illinois won their conference last year.
Vandy beats Missouri.
At
Nah.
Missouri? No.
Yep.
Nah, not in Columbia.
Yep, that's it.
In Columbia.
Vandy beats Hawaii, Elon, and Missouri.
I'm giving them 3 with Hawaii, Elon, and Northern Illinois.
I'll give you Elon. No, Northern Illinois is a good team.
I know they're not bad.
I took them in the league last year. They had 8 wins. So
Yeah,
that's what
no. I'm going 2 wins, and it's probably. I see them losing to Hawaii. I mean,
No. There's a reason Hawaii was one of my 5 worst teams in college football next year.
But it's Vandy.
I get it. But you're the worst football team in the best football conference. That means a lot of times you can hang with some of these other schools outside of these major conferences. So there ain't no way they're beating Wake. Wake might beat them by 30.
Yeah.
So I think they trip up Missouri, man. I think they trip up Missouri.
Okay, all right.
So
well,
all right,
next on the list we got Missouri at 5.5.
oh, my bad. I pulled a Mississippi State. I got Missouri for y'all.
Well, I was going by numbers.
Yeah.
So Missouri went 6-7 last year. Their schedule for this season, out of conference, they got Kansas State, Louisiana Tech, Abilene Christian.
That's a win.
And New Mexico State.
New Mexico State wasn't.
No, they're bad.
Yeah.
They're bad.
They're bad.
Yeah,
They're bad.
They, I think, last year were projected to be the worst team in college
They were
football.
projected to be the worst team. Yeah.
Over UMass?
It
Yes.
ended up being UMass.
Yeah.
They were projected, I think, 1 win last year.
So I'll say this: win for New Mexico State, win for Abilene Christian.
I think they could beat Kansas State.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
No, Kansas State's a good program.
Yep. They're
Is
better. They're better.
At Kansas State?
Yep.
I think Carolina gets them this year at home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna take the under on the 5.5.
You go 5?
Yep.
5 and
Yeah.
7?
I might give them 4. They might go 4-8. I think you got to win
They
it.
lost a lot of their talent last year, too.
You got to win it. Hell, the quarterback transferred. He was supposed to go to the draft. Sucked so bad last year, he left Missouri. So I'll take Abilene Christian as a win. I'll take New Mexico State as a win.
Vandy.
I'll give them Vandy, and I'll give them Louisiana Tech. I don't think they can beat Auburn, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, or Arkansas.
They will beat Carolina just because it's Carolina.
Nah, not at home.
Not at home.
No, that's South Carolina. So
No,
I give them 4 wins. Maybe they could even sneak in a 5th win with Kansas State, but I ain't giving them 6. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I say I'm going under.
I go with the 5.
Under.
Yeah, I go with the
All
5.
right. I like it.
So next on the list we have.
6.5.
Speaking
South
of it,
Carolina.
let's go South Carolina at 6.
So
I think we go over 6. I'm going the over.
I mean, 7-win team last year. Obviously, they got the bowl win, so they were 6-6 before that.
Win's a win, brother.
Hey, yeah,
Win's
listen,
a win.
I get it. So.
I think we get 7 wins outright this year.
I mean, that's a win. That's a win. That's a win. I think you can get Kentucky this year. That's a win. That's a win. There's 6 right there.
Yeah, I mean, I say the Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas games are all toss-ups. Florida as well, actually. I'll take that back. You know what? I'll give them this. I'll give them Georgia State. I'll give them Charlotte, SC State, Missouri, and Vandy, right? That's 5. And all they got to do is beat Tennessee and Florida, or Tennessee or Florida, just to even push the 6.
I think they can beat Clemson this year, too. It's going to be tough at Clemson, but I think they can beat Clemson. I think this might be one of the years that Clemson flubs up and gives Carolina one.
We'll see. I'll take them for a push or over.
I'm gonna go the over.
So
I'm
take them for a push.
I'm going the over, and I'm calling seven wins.
Okay.
I'll take at least 7.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, yeah.
So you got South Carolina. We got a couple pushes
State.
and over. Now Mississippi State.
Mississippi
right?
State is the next one at 6.5.
Okay. So here's Mississippi State scheduled for you. You got Memphis at Arizona. Terrible football program right now. LSU, Bowling Green. East Tennessee State.
They play a lot of games away.
They play the same amount of way as they do.
No, but I'm talking about like big names. They play at Ole Miss. They play at Alabama. They play
at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was it? This was 6.5. So they got
going
to
under.
7.
I'm going under.
They get 7.
I'm going under at 6 and
3,
6.
4.
I'm going under at 6.
Yikes.
Because I don't see them winning. I don't see them winning on the road.
The only game that I can see there being toss-ups would be
LSU.
I don't know. I mean, that's at LSU and it's a night game.
Yeah,
that's a different atmosphere.
The only other one
I'm thinking Arkansas and I'm thinking Auburn are kind of toss-ups.
Ole Miss might be a toss-up.
No, see, I would differ with y'all. I think it's easier for them to win at LSU than it would be for them to win at Ole Miss or. What did you say, Kentucky? At Kentucky? Yeah,
no. I was talking about. Well, I said
Auburn. Yeah, I give them Auburn.
Auburn and Arkansas could be toss-ups there.
No, not Arkansas. No, Arkansas is in prime. You'll get my opinion on it when we get to Arkansas, but Arkansas is in prime position to be way better than Mississippi State. So I'm with Adam. Actually, I think I'm gonna go under on this, right at 6.
Yeah,
I feel good about calling Memphis, Arizona, LSU, Bowling Green, East Tennessee State, and then maybe an Auburn. Or maybe
Arkansas,
maybe a Kentucky, probably.
Yeah,
it's more likely they beat Kentucky on the road than they would Arkansas. So
at home.
Yeah. So I'll take the 6 and go the under.
Yeah, going under.
Same. Okay.
Next one is Auburn at 6.5.
You got Auburn coming off of a 6-7 season, 3-5 in conference.
And
they got some interesting.
They got some coaching issues right now.
They got plenty of coaching issues, but they got some interesting games. So
Mercer, San Jose State, Penn State. Oh, because it's that 1-1 like they did last year.
With Penn State,
yeah. But they got to go to Georgia. They got to go to Ole Miss. They got to go to Mississippi State.
And they got to go to Bama.
They got to go to Bama.
And Western Kentucky, I mean,
that's a
500. Yeah, that was a 500 out of conference team last year, so it's not a guaranteed kind of thing. I mean, the other problem is Auburn has no clue who their freaking quarterback is going to be right now.
They have no clue who anybody's going to be right now.
I mean, like
TJ Finley's probably going to be the starter.
I mean, you would hope so. This is not. Hold on, this is not the actual updated roster.
Anyway, what was it? Over under what? 6.5.
6.5.
I'm going under, and I'm going to say like 5 wins.
Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't even matter the quarterback. Looking at the schedule, I mean, San Jose State is no joke. That was a 9-win team.
Yeah, I'm saying that's not
out there in the West.
Penn State's a great team in the Big Ten.
Penn State is a sleeper for a lot of people. I'm looking at the camera to say this. Penn State is a sleeper for a lot of people. Like a real comeback season for Penn State. 10 plus wins for Penn State. What people are calling. So, I mean, could you beat Missouri? Probably. Could you beat LSU? Maybe. You're not beating Georgia. No. You're not beating Ole Miss at Ole Miss. You're not beating Arkansas, even though it's at home. Mississippi State, maybe. You're not beating Bama.
No, you're not beating Bama.
And hell, you might not beat Western Kentucky.
So I was going to say, you're giving them Western Kentucky,
Mercer, Missouri,
LSU.
Yeah, man, that's 4, right?
And then I'll give them San Jose State.
I'll give them San Jose State. That's still 5.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going 5 wins.
They could pull a miracle off and beat Georgia or something. They're still only at 6. So yeah, for me, you got to go under on that one.
Yep. Next one on the list is
Florida
at 7.
Yeah, the 6-7 Gators, 2-6 in conference last year. And boy, do they have some things to play with next year.
Yeah, Utah, Kentucky,
Loss.
Tennessee,
Loss.
at Tennessee, by the way, LSU, Georgia at the world's largest cocktail party, at A&M, Carolina, which is not going to be a pushover, and then Florida State. Florida State's actually been rising some. I mean, they haven't been the greatest, but I mean that's still a decent Power 5 matchup.
Under for me. Yeah, just immediately an under for me.
7 wins is going to be tough, especially when they should have done a lot better last year in the SEC than they did, and I think they have a tougher.
That's why Dan Mullen's gone.
I think they have a tougher out of conference schedule this year than they did last year, and I think they only get 5 wins.
You're giving them 5?
5.
I'm going under.
I'm definitely. I think we're all going under, right?
Yeah, 5 wins.
I mean, for me, I'm looking at it. I'm saying they're not. Here's my wins for me for them: South Florida, Eastern Washington, Missouri. I'll give them Vandy and LSU. That gets them to 5. I don't think they beat Florida State. I know for a fact they ain't beating Utah and probably not beating Kentucky.
I don't see
they ain't beating Georgia A&M. Maybe they beat South Carolina, but
they still go under the 7.
I still don't think they beat South Carolina, and they sure as hell ain't beating Tennessee at Tennessee.
No.
So
not with Hooker up there.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, this is a easy
under 7.
So
next one on the list, LSU at 7.
I've been roasting LSU.
You've been roasting LSU
the
all
whole time.
video.
So 3-5, 6-7 last year, or 3-5 in the conference, 6-7 overall last year. That's
Florida. They got Florida State to open up the season.
I think they beat Florida State.
A Sunday night game too.
Yep.
I think you beat Florida State at home.
It's a neutral site. So
Okay.
But they got to go to Auburn. They got to go to Florida.
New Mexico.
They get Bama at home, but they got to go to Arkansas.
UAB's no slouch either, though.
And they got to go to A&M. I mean, that's a loss. That's a loss. That's a loss. That's a loss. That's
a loss.
A loss. Toss up.
7.
Probably a loss.
Yeah, I'm going under. 7 out of this.
I'm going under.
I'm going push.
Southern.
I'm going push.
3, 4.
I think they push right at 7.
I mean, I can get them to 6.
I think they push at 7. I think
7. You said
7.
Yeah, no, it's under for me.
I'm going under.
I'm going push at 7.
Okay.
I
what does
think.
Bubba always tell us to do? Take the over.
Take the over.
I think they get a win at Florida State, Southern, Mississippi State at home as a night game. You get New Mexico. I'll give them UAB.
That's 5.
Yeah, I'll give them them beating Florida at Florida at 6, and then I think there's a toss up at Auburn and at Arkansas for them.
Man,
that's what I'm saying. I think they'll sneak.
Still going the under. First year for Brian Kelly. He didn't have his recruits in there yet. No. Yeah. Next one is Kentucky at 7.5.
Interesting, because Kentucky has won 10 games.
The last 2 or 3 seasons, haven't they?
Yeah, I think it's 3 straight seasons they've won 9 or more. So
yeah, Miami of Ohio, that's a win. Youngstown State, that's a win. Northern Illinois, they could probably pull out a win there. Ole Miss at Ole Miss is tough. South Carolina is going to be tough this year.
7.5, right?
I'm going under, but 7 wins though. I don't think they get 8. No, I take that back.
Louisville's going to surprise some people too with that quarterback play.
I'm going over. This is going to be the first time since.
Actually, I do. I'm going over 8 wins though.
Yeah.
8 wins.
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm going Miami of Ohio, Florida, Youngstown State, Northern Illinois, Mississippi State, Missouri, Vandy, and Louisville. That gets me to 8 right there. So losses to Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Ole Miss. Obviously, the Tennessee and the South Carolina can be a toss-up. South Carolina hadn't beaten Kentucky a whole lot in the last
6 years.
Yeah, 6 years. So Tennessee at Tennessee is pretty hard. Ole Miss at Ole Miss is hard, and Georgia's definitely a loss, no matter how much Georgia's lost. But the rest of this, I mean, really easy out of conference, and then you walk away with Vandy, Florida, and the other Western team you get is Mississippi State. So
I think they beat Carolina at home, or they have South Carolina at home this year. And I don't think Carolina beats them
on the road.
On the road.
Yeah.
Now, different story.
It
Maybe
depends. I mean, that's a middle of the season type of game. So I mean,
I agree. It's a
either
toss-up.
South Carolina's gonna be clicking, or there's gonna be
But
some
like I
injuries
said,
on either
just-
side.
Yeah.
Being, of course, all of us being South Carolina fans and seeing the way we played and just years
Oh, there's
past.
a hometown bias right there, baby.
Not only that, but I also know the last half a decade we haven't played Kentucky well. No matter where we were at, we haven't played them well.
Yep.
And so that's got to factor into it a little bit.
Yeah. So next on the slate, 7.5, Tennessee. They are 7-6 last year, 4-4 in the conference. A lot of hype around Tennessee right now. A lot of hype. I mean,
Do you think?
they people acting like
Do you think they
Tennessee's
win-
going to win the East.
I was about to
So
say, do you think they win the East or second behind Georgia? Before you give over on their season.
I would still say they're probably second. But I'm fading Georgia a little bit personally, but I do think they're probably second behind Georgia. I think South Carolina has a chance to win the East. Outside of that, it's one of those three teams, but that's it. So.
Well, they're gonna open up the season at least 5-0.
I mean, yeah, you got Ball State at Pitt, who's lost everybody. I mean, Jordan Addison's talking about transferring because of money now. So
He's not even gonna go to USC anymore.
yeah, so
He just needs to go to Bama. Just shut up and go to Bama.
yeah, so
Akron,
Florida, LSU, all teams that I've been fading. Of course, Akron's one of the worst, but the Bama thing is always the tough matchup for them. Kentucky, Georgia, Missouri, South Carolina, Vandy. So,
But they get UT Martin.
I think
win.
you get-
They beat Kentucky. They
You
lose.
get 8 wins. You get
Easy.
8 wins here, easy.
easy.
If not, I think I'm over 9 wins. I think they beat Carolina this year as well in Columbia. I'll give them 9 wins.
I think it's a different environment.
I think it's interesting. I would say, if we flipped them and they were at Kentucky and then they had South Carolina at home like they had last season, I would say a loss to Kentucky and a win over South Carolina. I think it's going to be easier for them to beat Kentucky at home than it will be to beat South Carolina on the road.
But that's what I'm saying. I want it until they prove it to me. I'm going to fade South Carolina.
Yeah, of course.
As just
Naturally. Yeah.
they don't live up to the hype.
Yeah,
being a
naturally.
fan,
Yeah.
I always come.
Yeah, but I think the difference this year compared to years in the past is Carolina actually has a quarterback that can play quarterback.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, supposedly, but I mean, we actually have a quarterback this year that can go out and play quarterback who's been a proven winner.
yeah.
I mean, outside of the downfall last year that he had at Oklahoma, I mean, his freshman year, kid was putting up record numbers. I mean,
Yep.
so
like I said, I want to see it be proven before.
That's fair. That's fair. I think this is an easy 8 wins for me. So
Yeah, I'm
gonna
going
take over. Yeah. So, all right.
now we're getting into the fun stuff.
Yeah,
Texas
we got
A&M
no,
and
Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah, Ole Miss is 7.5.
So, Ole Miss last year, a 10-win team, 6-2 in the conference.
I think
Lost,
They lost Matt Corral.
but they got Jackson Dart from Southern California, and they picked up the 5-star running back from TCU. They picked up another big wide receiver as well. So the portal is what kind of fueled Ole Miss here in this offseason.
7.5.
And-
I'm going over with.
Oh, they're not losing until like at least here.
Yeah, I mean, that's my thing. This is an easy 7.5 for me right here because Troy, Central Arkansas. Now Georgia Tech's getting better. Don't get me wrong, but I'm still going to take I'm still going to take them over Georgia Tech. You got Tulsa, Vandy, Kentucky will be the hard one,
yeah,
right?
but then you.
But Auburn, LSU, and Mississippi State at the end. I'm good. I'm good with an 8
Over.
right there. Yep. Hell, I might be good with a 9.
I think that's what I'm saying. I'm going over 9 wins. Over with 9 wins.
Yeah, I mean, you give me the loss to Alabama, give me the loss to A&M, but you're going to have a battle with Kentucky and Arkansas that are winnable games still, too.
Yeah.
So it could be even a 10-win season for Ole Miss without the bowl game. So, all right, now we have to go to
Now we're getting to the big
A&M,
boys.
who's
Yes.
8.5 on A&M. This is a team that went 8-4 last year, 4-4 in the conference, but so much transfers for them. Picked up Max Johnson, picked up his 4-star tight end brother out of Georgia. They got the whole defense back. They got the whole wide receiver core back, and they're just kind of replacing the
Sam
running
Houston,
back.
App State, Miami's a win. Arkansas at home, I think, is a win. Mississippi State's a win.
That's a tough stretch.
You think they'll beat UMass?
No, I don't know, dude. That's tough.
No, they're not going to be UMass.
That one's a tough one.
When you talk about cupcake games before your season finale with your rival, UMass before LSU? I mean,
I mean, that's a tough little stretch right there, though. to go Mississippi State, and these are all away games, at Mississippi State, at Alabama, at South Carolina.
And then follow up with Ole Miss.
And then follow up with Ole Miss.
Yeah.
So even
That's a tough stretch.
I think they start the season out 5-0.
Man, national championship aspirations for A&M this year. Like, people are legit talking national championship for them, but
5,
I still think the West runs through
6,
Alabama.
7, 8. I'm going 9 wins. I got them at 9 wins.
You taking the over?
Yeah.
that would be the over, yeah.
Yep, I'm going over at 9 wins. I think you lose Alabama and
Could South Carolina finally do it?
No.
no.
I guess I'll just be
There's a bye week in between these, by the way.
5.
Still a tough stretch.
I'm with Adam. I'll take the 9. I mean, as much as I know that Texas A&M is supposed to be a really, really good team, a lot of hype around them, real chance for a national
They were supposed to be a
championship.
really good team last year.
Yeah, and they had some injuries and some quarterback issues, but now they feel good about their guy. Sam Houston's an easy win. I mean, they are a really good football program, but it should be an easy win.
I'm not 9 wins, 10 wins.
I'm gonna say this: App State and Miami, those are not joke out of conference games. Like UMass at the end,
Miami's gotten a whole lot better.
Miami's gotten a whole lot better. I mean, App State
Hangs with everybody they
They've
play
been
with.
10-win team for the last 2 years. So
And they've hung with the people they play with that are out of conference.
They almost beat Miami last year.
They should beat Miami last year.
But Arkansas is not a joke. That's on a neutral site in Cowboy Stadium. Like,
AT&T Stadium.
I mean,
Jerry Dome.
Yeah.
at
J
Bama.
Road.
At Bama. I mean, Ole Miss at home. So
I mean, I still give South Carolina credit for a home game, but
I'll give A&M the 9, but I would be sweating this a little bit, especially if there's an early loss to like a Miami or somebody like that. So,
burn everything down if that happens.
yeah.
We skipped Arkansas, by the way.
Did we?
Yeah, we skipped Arkansas at 7.
Oh, 7.5. Yeah, we did. So we got to go back to Arkansas. Sorry, Arkansas fans. Don't worry. You're going to like what I have to say about your schedule.
He's predicting 11-1.
Maybe. So, all right. So here's the Arkansas schedule. They were 9-4 last year, 4-4 in the conference. So interesting schedule for them because I do think that Arkansas has some really tough out-of-conference teams. Let's see what Cincinnati ends up being.
Yep.
I'm gonna give Arkansas a win in this one.
Yep.
But
I think they lost a lot.
I think Cincinnati lost too much.
Way too much for me. So the South Carolina game at home, I'm gonna give them a W in that. Missouri State, so they're starting 3-0. I'm gonna give them losses to A&M and Alabama. All right. I'm going to say they beat, though, Mississippi State, BYU, Auburn, Liberty, LSU, and Missouri. I think the Ole Miss game is probably another one they're going to get tripped up on. So
9-3?
Yep.
I'll give them the over. I can see them going 8-4.
I'll give them that. Yeah, I like 9-2. I really do.
The one thing that's going to be an advantage for Arkansas versus other teams in the SEC, which sounds crazy because the SEC, you just think physical football, but Arkansas is a physical, hard-hitting, loves to run the football, loves to play great defense.
Yep.
Old school kind of football team, and I think that's going to help them in a lot of their games. So, all right, now the big boys, Georgia and Alabama. So we'll go Georgia first.
At 10 wins or
Both are
11.
both are
They're
10.5. Both are 10.5. Georgia, interesting way to open the season in a neutral site game with Oregon.
I think they win. I think they do.
I don't know. Georgia's a wild card this year. Because
I think Kent State pulls off the upset.
Kent State pulls it off.
Pulls off the upset.
Stanford pulls it off. Stanford does it, baby.
Stanford would easily be a 40-point dog in that game.
No, I think the problem for Georgia is they lost, but I'm not saying I still think they make that 10 to 11 wins. But I think Georgia lost a lot to the draft. I mean, they lost their entire defense. I mean, yeah, they have Stetson Bennett coming back, but is Stetson even honestly that great?
I'm just saying, was the offense that good, or was it the
I think
the
it was
fact
the
your
defense was that good.
I think the defense was that good.
Because the defense kept the other offenses
off the field?
off the field. So then when they do get on the field, they tend to make mistakes because they're not clicking, which is what happened in the national championship. Alabama made too many mistakes at the end of that game.
Yeah.
So I still think they go 10 or 11 wins. I don't know if they run the table again.
11-1.
I'm taking the under.
11-1. Well, all right.
So you're thinking like 9 to 10?
I think they're a 10-win team. I think they're a 10-win
What do
team.
you, all right.
Their losses, I think there's 4 spots for losses in the schedule, and I think at least 2 of the 4 trip them up. I think that opener with Oregon, you're going to have a brand new Georgia team out there. Oregon returning a lot of talent.
But also losing.
Oh, they lost to Thibodeau.
I know, but that, I
They
mean.
lost Thibodeau.
That's what they lost.
Their top defensive player, too, though.
He didn't play out.
He didn't play much anyway. But one player versus your entire defense.
Yeah. And
so playmakers at all levels.
I think there's a chance Oregon can trip them up. I think there's a chance South Carolina could trip them up at South Carolina in a noon game, a little bit of a sleeper kind of morning game. I think Tennessee could do it, even though it's at Georgia, and I think Kentucky can do it at Kentucky. So I think there's 4 people that have a chance to beat Georgia this season, and I think 2 of those 4 can trip them up. And
I like 10 wins. I don't see 11. And I agree. There is
a lot of things have to go their way to get to 11.
Yeah, agreed. A lot has to go their way. I think Oregon is the one that's going to give them the most trouble, and
just because it's that first game of the season.
Yeah. But Tennessee, I agree, has been this kind of up and coming SEC East team the last 3-4 years, and I think they're finally getting things clicking up there, and they've looked good the last 2 years. And I'll give them that as a second loss.
Wow. That game with Oregon is in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. What a
So it's a home game. It's a home game.
What a neutral site. So
I'm gonna go under. I see 9 to 10. I agree with what you're saying. There's a potential slip up. There's four trap games on that schedule. So I definitely agree. I think they could potentially.
And then Alabama.
Yeah, interesting. So obviously the Tide finishing last year at 13-2 did win the SEC but lost the national championship. Utah State, who ultimately they've lost everybody. So you kind of have to. Sorry, Utah State. Really,
at Texas is a big game.
It is, but I mean, in week 2 is Quentin Ewers and Bijan Robinson going to be good enough to beat Alabama? I wouldn't say so.
Well, and it's also Saban against his former colleagues.
Yeah.
So it's another one of those things. He only lost twice to his colleagues or to his proteges. So UL Monroe definitely.
I'll give him
a loss at UL Monroe.
Yes.
No, I was thinking
this is the year Vandy does it.
I was thinking Austin Peay at home.
Vandy does it this year, baby.
Yeah.
Vandy's
gonna do it.
I think the Arkansas game, the Tennessee game, both of them being on the road, and the Ole Miss game being on the road. So
I would say I like 11 wins. The only one I think that's going to give them trouble is Tennessee on the road. Again,
I agree with that.
I don't know why, but I agree.
They haven't beaten. The Tennessee hasn't beaten Alabama in like 16 years. I don't think this is the year it's going to happen. So I'm more worried about the Ole Miss.
I think the Tennessee game is more of a trap game than the Ole Miss game.
I think the Arkansas or Ole Miss game would be more traps than Tennessee. But I'll say this: as much as I faded Georgia and saying that they're going to lose 2 of those 4 games, I'm taking Alabama. I'm taking the 11-1 with Alabama.
Yeah,
I'm going the over on Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, the A&M game is the only one that I think is a real shot. It's going to be a hard stretch for them at Arkansas, A&M at home, at Tennessee. Those are going to be some pretty tight games and a pretty tight window to play. All 3 weeks, no buys at all. So could I see them losing 2 of those 3? Yes, and that's the only way I think they fall under that 10.5.
But I go 11-1. I don't think they sweep. I go 11-1 though.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going the over. They're either going to run the table or they're going to lose 1.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I know we say it every year, but yeah.
So whatever we just said on this video,
go against.
Make sure you bet the opposite.
Vandy's gonna run the table.
Yeah, take the under in the Vandy 2.5 and just sweat all season long, just not letting them win 3 games. So, all right. Well, that was a lot of fun. So, let us know in the comments, what you think or exactly who you think is going to end up winning the SEC. And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.